Also, let me show you how the game is done when they want to revise history and they want to give a history to their people. A council came together. They wanted to do something on the history of initiates going into a school of learning and magic and higher spiritual laws. They'll come together as a consortium, write this particular history. They'll give it to one author. And you thinking that this, and they'll say, well, write it in a novel. And you thinking that it's this is the imagination of this one person. And when it is an actual panel, and that's the way they can hide behind. See, in a way to hide history, you make it historical, then you make it pseudo-history. The pseudo-history is the real history. They'll say, well, put it in comic books, put it in movies. This is the way they do things to keep you out. So whenever you come in and you're trying to make the case of history, or make the case of something that you learned, and you got it off of TV, they can say, well, that's TV. But that's exactly what they do. They have annals of history, and this libraries of history, and they put it in the comic books. And it was interesting, and I went there, I was doing a lecture in Harlem in '99, and I was telling them, I said, you know, you all need to be going to the comic book store. They got one called Forbidden Planet in New York, and I said, you know, which is right beside the Strand bookstore. I said, you need to visit both. So somebody in the audience laughed, and I said, well, it's interesting here, and I had a piece of paper out of a comic book talking about Leonard Jeffries and the Afrocentric movement in a comic book. You see what I'm saying? In a comic book. And that's why you got to go back and get the movie Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. And Samuel L. Jackson said, I know that anything you want to know about life, you can find in these comic books. Actually, they reversed the role. Samuel L. Jackson was the one unbreakable in the movie, and they reversed the role, and Bruce Willis was the breakable one, but they made Bruce, you know, it's the hero, Hollywood, they made Bruce Willis the one that was unbreakable. But if you look real close, when he first goes to see Samuel L. Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson is standing behind, or sitting behind, an Egyptian stela. And about like this stela that we're going to get into today, this is the stela of Uncle Nakunsu. He's standing behind an Egyptian stela. And he's telling his head, this big stela is behind him. I'm like, Hollywood don't just put, this is not the product placement. This is nothing random. This is a comic book store. Why is there an Egyptian stela behind Samuel L. Jackson? He was trying to say, this is the Pharaoh.